Hi, I'm Renee Naylor, the Springbok physiotherapist, and I started my physiotherapy degree at the University of the Western Cape 31 years ago. Yes, as a 15-year-old, I had no other career choice but physiotherapy, and no other institution in South Africa was prepared to accept me based on my gutter education except UWC's, and I'm very proud to have had UWC as my higher learning institution. When I was told by other institutions that I could not become a physiotherapist, it was devastating for me. But I was lucky. I had a mentor in my dad that said, you can do it and you will be able to become a physiotherapist. And you will find many obstacles on your course in your careers. And it's important to find a mentor, whether it's your lecturer, whether it's a tutor, a family member, someone from your church, someone from your mosque, but someone that believes in you, because there will be many obstacles on your journey. I started my sporting career at a rugby club in Mitchell's Plain, working out of a container with very little resources and earning very little money per game. And it's taken me a long road to get to working with the Springboks and winning the World Cup in 2019. And I'd like to say to all of you that have managed to complete your matric, you have done something extraordinary. You put pen to paper and managed to complete your matric, which means you showed amazing resilience and grit. And that resilience will stand you in good stead for the rest of your lives. You can be so proud that you've chosen UWC as your learning institution, because UWC has always been the forefront of fighting challenges and adversities in our country. They were the forefront of our liberation struggle. And they will teach you and give you all those resources you need to deal with the challenges of our country and globally. And I'm very proud to have completed my first degree at University of the Western Cape. Good luck to all of you. Stay safe. Remember to wear your mask, sanitize, and socially distance.
Good day, everyone. My name is Shantia Hannes, and I am a master's graduate from the Sports, Recreation and Exercise Science Department at the University of the Western Cape. This journey has not been easy towards my master's degree. From first year up until master's, it's been quite an experience, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. My first year was quite exciting. It's a new environment, you have new friends. So at the same time, it can become an overwhelming experience as well. You have lots of lectures, tutorials that you have to go to, and if you miss one, you feel like you don't know if you're coming or going. So peer pressure can become a real battle to struggle with, but if you keep your eyes on the prize and you focus on your goals that you have set yourself, the journey can become a lot easier. So in my second year, I was a bit thrown aback by the peer pressure, but nonetheless, my lecturers supported me and encouraged me to perform better than what I usually do. And through that, I became part of the Foundation for Sport, Peace and Development as a youth leader, where we coordinate and facilitate youth heritage games annually. And up to this day, I'm still on that youth team. So I'm grateful for that opportunity that was presented to me. In my third year, I thought I'm just going to sit and focus and put my head to the books. And because of that, I achieved cum laude for my undergraduate degree. It was not without disappointments and hard work. Time management played a key role, as I was working 3 other promotional jobs at the same time. So you really need to put your foot down sometimes and just say, no, I need to study, I need to focus on achieving this undergraduate degree. That led me to my honors degree in 2017. I decided to do my honors because I really believe that sport does have the power to change communities, individuals, and up to this day, I still believe that. So I continue to do my honors, and this is where I was granted the opportunity by my lecturers in the department to become part of the Caring Society, also known as CASO. They are 3 universities that provide you with community development skills amongst various others. So they promote physical education in low-income communities, and that I felt like was part of my journey that I had to complete. And through this opportunity, I was able to do an exchange program to Finland, which was quite exciting as it was my first time going overseas. So that taught me a lot of experience traveling by myself. Once I came back from Finland, I finished off with my honors degree, and I just missed cum laude by 0.5%. But nonetheless, that motivated me and pushed me to do my master's degree. This master's degree had a lot of surprises. I was a National Research Foundation intern. I was a student athlete mentor. I was a tutor. I was an associate lecturer. And last but not least, I was a first year transition officer, which is my current role at the moment. So there has been a lot of experiences, a lot of challenges along the way, but I wouldn't have traded it for anything else. The knowledge and the growth that I've experienced through my lecturers, my peers, my colleagues has been phenomenal. And I would just like to say thank you to all those who have guided and supported me throughout this journey. It has been fantastic. So first years, I hope that you have taken into account what I've said, and that you will also just sometimes put your foot down and tell your friends, no, I need to focus now and I need to get done with my studies. Good luck with your first year experience. I hope it is an amazing one and one worth remembering. Good luck, and I hope to see you around campus.
Greetings to the UWC first year students of 2021. I'm Clyde Schroeder and still a very proud UWC alumnus. Before I start off, I want to just thank the university staff for inviting me on this platform to just build some chat with you. And in preparation for today, I was asked to reflect back on my university experiences and how it had shaped and molded me to the person I am today. So yes, I know for many of you, coming into university seems somewhat of a daunting task, because with new experiences comes new challenges. And as I reflect back, I realized that in my first year, that the things I did in high school and got away with did not necessarily translate into the university setting. And in psychology and social work, we talk about learned behavior, and there was some learned behavior that I had to unlearn in order to progress within my university experience. And therefore, it was important for me to not procrastinate, to check my surroundings, who is in my circle, as well as how am I planning and prioritizing my time. And the way I did that was, on day one, I identified individuals that will form part of my circle, that will help and assist me to attain my goals, and that is either to get good marks and one day also graduate. And those individuals I still have a very good relationship with still today. And secondly, the university offers us such a beautiful opportunity to help us balance and prioritize our lifestyles. And therefore, specifically in my first and second year, I applied for everything that I could, whether it be peer facilitator, student faculty coordinator. I was even part of the university choir and even played some table tennis for the university. And the reason I'm saying that is because through that experiences, it helped me balance and manage my lifestyle, whether it be academics as well as having fun and exposing myself, and in the process building to my character and my worth. But as you know, with every experience, one is faced with some challenges and obstacles that you have to overcome, and I was no exception to that. I recall within my third year, At the start of my second semester, I fell ill where I had a blood clot in my leg and rushed to hospital and was told that if this operation is not done, my leg might be amputated. And I was in all sorts because at the same time my mother had to go for a heart operation where the doctor gave a 30% chance of living. And that in mind, with my studies in mind, I was really in a dark space. Through that experience, what really helped me was my circle of friends that I've developed early in the years. And because they could help me with extra notes that I missed out on when I was busy recovering. But as time progressed, both myself and my mother recovered well. And again, through the amazing support of lecturers and my circle of friends, I could get back on track, and I was excited. And I was ready for my final year of varsity, my 4th year, my honors year. It's exciting stuff. And even that year, we were able to win the World Choir Games, which we are still very proud of. And it was exciting stuff, and I was really looking forward to graduating that year. But 3 weeks before I had to submit my final research paper and getting ready to graduate, my mother unfortunately passes away. And once again I was taken back to a little bit of a dark space, because I said, I tried my best throughout my varsity years, I did what I could, and yet this still happened. And what made it a little bit worse was that my sister also passed away 11 years prior to that. And so I was really quite negative. But once again, through the amazing support of my family members and circle of friends, as well as the lecturers at UWC, they could come around me and support me during that trying time. And I was able to rise above that challenge. And during that time, I found out or discovered this mantra, a comfort zone being such a beautiful place, but nothing ever growing there. And through that experience, I started looking at not why is it happening to me, but what can I learn out of it. So that has definitely added to me, as well as into my profession as a social worker currently today. Therefore, by that being said, I just hope to encourage you as first year students taking on this new journey in 2021. And I know you've just come out some hectic challenges with COVID-19, as well as you might be faced with your own personal challenges. Just know that these challenges and obstacles are preparing you for greater things. So therefore, first years of 2021, I wish you all of the best, and may you flourish this year.
Respective students, first of all, I want to congratulate each one of you for being accepted into the University of the Western Cape. I think you guys should applaud yourselves for making it up until this specific moment. Rumor has there was a lot of applications this year, so you can consider yourself as lucky for making it into your specific program. I was approached by the University of the Western Cape, specifically the Faculty of Community and Health Sciences, to encourage you as you guys are about to embark on this specific journey. Usually I refer to this journey as the journey of becoming. The journey of becoming a physiotherapist, a nurse, a professional nurse at a specific point, or dietitian, or whatever you aspire to become. I refer to as the journey of becoming. So I was also a student here at the University of the Western Cape, but let me just give you or take you through a brief background as to how I ended up in this specific university. First of all, I grew up in a small town in the Northern Cape called Calvinia with my grandparents. Now everyone would ask why your grandparents? The reason is my parents had very demanding jobs. So my grandfather and my grandmother, they were quite scared as to that I will lack attention and also specific guidance in order for me to become a specific individual that they aspired me to or envisioned me to become. So I matriculated at Calvinia High School in 2014. Okay, so I started my studies at the University of the Western Cape in 2016, but I matriculated in 2014. So now you guys are wondering what happened in 2015. So in 2015 there was kind of a backlog. I applied late to specific universities due to a lack of resources and a lack of knowledge. because within the rural areas, or with the area where I grew up, we had little exposure to people from universities that will come and do career exposures, etc., etc. But they didn't get to me. So what I did is I worked as a radio presenter at the local radio station in California called Radio Kapusna. I was stationed, or I was employed to host a youth program. So that specific program enabled me to connect with the youth in my community on a very large, or the platform was quite enlarged due to the fact that I could reach a lot of people in such small amount of time, or in a specific small town. Within this youth program, what I did is I gained resources. I invited people to speak with me on the specific program, to encourage or give knowledge or information to students who want to pursue a specific career, and where they can get help from, whom they can turn to, and what specific channels they can follow in order to get to that certain point in their life. Also, this specific year that I took, or let me just say a gap year that I took, also enabled me to learn more about my strengths and weaknesses while I was engaging with other people and sharing specific knowledge to people who are in need of it within my community. So I also earned a salary, but I didn't use it or spend it impulsively, because I had a goal. My goal was to become something. At that specific point, I didn't know what as yet. But right throughout my journey with engaging with people, being exposed to people with different platforms in different careers, I finally found what I want to become. So right throughout, at the end of 2015, as we were approaching the closing dates of the universities, I applied to several universities. And then I got accepted in 2016 for the Bachelor of Nursing program at University of the Western Cape. So now people would ask why. We all have a why as to why we pursue a specific career or a specific thing or a specific path. But my goal or my why, or the reason for my why, was my grandmother. She used to be a midwife. So at night, she worked at a local clinic and sometimes at the local hospital, depending on the need. At that time, they were shifted and pushed wherever the need are or were at that specific time. So as a midwife, she used to come very stressed at home, and then she used to share stories as to how her day went. Sometimes the terminology that she used was foreign to the majority of us, because we were not in her level of training as yet. But she broke it down in such a simplified manner so that each one of us could understand what she was actually trying to say. Even the woman in the neighborhood area would come and speak to her, ask a specific baby advice or advice with regards to the pregnancy. And my grandmother's service never ended at a hospital. She took it further. So that's the motivation that I gained from my mother, or from my grandmother. And I'm actually very proud of the fact that I had such a strong motivation to answer my question that I proposed to myself, my why. Why nursing? And I can proudly say again, my grandmother is the reason for nursing. So in 2016, I started off my nursing career at University of the Western Cape. Okay, first of all, let's just try to paint a picture quickly. You as a young child from a rural area, or an area that's considered as rural, making your way into university, English, totally English. And me, I only have Afrikaans background because I didn't pay quite attention in the English class. But that didn't stop me. At university, you were considered as just a number, because you have a unique number that we used to refer as your student number. I can still recall my student number so clearly. That student number ended up in a lot of offices. Just because of I want to be, or I always aspire to be recognized wherever I inserted myself. At this specific point, you walk past students. They would not greet you whilst you came from a background where you used to wake up in the morning and greet people. You sit in an area where people are eating in front of you. while you came from a background where that wasn't allowed. So the adaptation process to the specific university was quite intense, but that didn't get to me. I managed to secure or managed to pass my first year with at least 5-6 distinctions. Okay, that time it was quite good. It's still good, but then again, in second year, it became more tougher. Third year became more tougher. Fourth year became more tougher. So the distinctions automatically become more lesser. But yet again, it didn't stop me in order to progress from one year level to another year level. Why? Because I had a source of motivation. A source of motivation, I had friends that encouraged me in order to become, or in order to invest as much as they did in their specific studies. So that's also what I wanted to say. Choose your friends wisely while you're still in university. In my second year, I managed to secure a position at the Faculty of Community and Health Sciences as a student assistant. So that position enabled me to read students or to encounter with students on a daily basis with regards to their specific module problems, their career choice. They want to most probably switch from one career or one career choice to a different career choice within this faculty, and I had to guide them and show them the specific pathways in order for them to achieve whatever they aspire to. Also, this specific position allowed me to engage or to see the background or the people behind this specific system who accepted me into the university. So now I was on the receiving end. So basically, I received those students who come into the university, but more at a professional type of level. This position was very powerful, and it meant so much to me. Up until this very moment, I can still engage with students within the clinical setting, in terms of the specific modules that they did or that they're still going to do and what they can expect from it. In my final year in 2019, I secured position on my Residences House Committee, a DISA House Committee, as the financial officer. Also, this position enabled me to see now the financial aspect of the university and how you as the specific officer must distribute this money in order to make the residents as homely and friendly and just as comfortable for the students as possible. These positions, I didn't just take up these positions because I want to. I always knew that I wanted to be an equipped individual before leaving university. Hence, these positions actually guide me in order to fulfill the specific role that I'm currently in. So in 2019, on the 13th of December, I graduated with the Bachelor of Nursing degree. I missed the cum laude with a few percentages, but that didn't get to me. I obtained a qualification, and this year allowed me to do my community service at Mulberry Maternity Hospital. So Mulberry Maternity Hospital is in the line of me becoming an accoucheur, because I always wanted to follow in my grandmother's footsteps, my late grandmother's footsteps. And this hospital enabled me to do specifically what she told us way back to do. So I'm grateful, I'm honored to have shared this story with you, and I hope that you guys can take forth and be the specific versions that you guys want to be. Remember that we always are being inserted into spaces where people always doubt our ability to thrive. It's up to you to thrive in that specific positions. Thank you very much.
I want to talk today about success. A few years ago, I was exactly where you are now, full of excitement, mixed with a little bit of anxiety and the fear of the unknown. I won't even go into the pandemic as much because that is a big unknown. And so this is a lot to expect. Coming to the end of my bachelor's degree and wondering what life had in store after varsity and even after community service, I was left with a lot of questions as to, will I have a job at the end of my community service here? Would there also be another statistics of graduates who failed to find employment, even though I studied for 4 years with the honors? So I know exactly where you are today, full of excitement, full of fear, full of anxiety, calm on the outside, but inside is another story. Now that I'm back in Cape Town, it's been a few years, I've successfully opened up my private practice. Obviously, with lockdown and the pandemic, it has taken a knock, but this is where perseverance comes in. Also, I'm lucky enough to share my knowledge with students in their fourth year or in the intern year at UWC in the dietetics department. So coming back to my story, after 1 year of doing community service in Rustenburg Northwest, I returned home full of energy, full of excitement to take on my new career. Now, admittedly, I am an entrepreneur by nature, and I have a vision for business. And so this is something that I used as part of my varsity years. As some of you may have experienced in high school even, and may experience now, money is not always easy to come by. And with that, I had to bake and sell cakes as part of my capital that I wanted to build up during studying. And that took a lot from me to put in the work for varsity as well as make money on the side. But coming out of varsity and community service, I decided I didn't want to work for anyone, and I wanted to be independent, and I wanted to push. But with that comes a lot of perseverance. And that is your road to success, perseverance. So I want to share with you quickly some of the rules of success that I believe in, and it's actually taken from Entrepreneur magazine. So number one in your road to success is collab with others or collaborate with others. A lot of times we think that our success is individual or it's independent, but it's not. You can only move forward if you have other people along the way to help you. In saying that, it may then apply to other students that you work with, but collabing with others is just a general term for everybody, as well as your family and friends. The only way you can move forward is if you mix and you network with people. So my biggest suggestion to you this year, even if you have online learning, is for you to collaborate and network with your fellow students. Number two, never neglect. So again, moving on to the online platforms of learning, which will be, I'm guessing, predominantly the way you're going to learn this year, try not to neglect anything. You may be distracted at home doing things, but your main focus is your first year of university. So wherever you can, please don't neglect your work. Number three, choose possibilities, not problems. If I look back and I think about my varsity years, I didn't have a car, and so I relied on Metro Rail to get to and from varsity. With that came a lot of problems, but if I had to only think of those problems and just give up, I wouldn't be where I am today. So my advice to you would be, look at everything as a possibility. What can you do to fix it, or what can you do as an alternative way? There's always a way. And if you're stuck in anything, that's when you need to go back to number one and collab with others and communicate. Number four, self-check. This is a major one. A lot of people forget that they need to look within themselves and even just to reflect. Every single day you do something, you experience something, you interact with people, you need to reflect on the day and reflect on yourself. Could you have done better? What could you have done more? And just any kind of reflecting will help you to be a better student as well as a better person. Number five, manage your time. Again, coming back to this online learning, and even if it's not online learning, sometimes the workload is quite overwhelming. So my advice to you is get a diary, prioritize what needs to be done now, and make a list of things for your to-do list. And that way your brain doesn't get bogged up with all the things you have to do, because it can get busy. Number 6, accept responsibility. Coming up to or through primary school and high school, a lot of tasks and responsibility was on your parents or your caregivers. This is the time when all the responsibility is on you. So from now onwards, take responsibility for everything you do and everything you don't do. And number 7, main one, be kind. This is just a life lesson. It's part of success. But if you can't be kind to yourself and to others, your success rate is going to be low. So always be kind. And in closing, if I could achieve this, and so many people that I know that had more obstacles than me, if we could do this, I know you can too. Welcome to 2021 at UWC. All the best.
Good day and welcome first year UWC students. I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate you and say how amazing it is that I guess that we are all here. You've made it to university from a very weird year, especially if you were matric last year, and you did it. And unfortunately, it's going to still be a little weird for a little while longer until we are all able to actually see each other face to face, and not in a digital space. But many congratulations and well done, and thank you for choosing UWC. It's an institution that I am particularly proud of. I am proud to have studied here. I am proud to be a staff member here. My name is Serena Isaacs. I am a senior lecturer / research psychologist at the Department of Psychology. And the department, a little unique in a sense because we are housed within the CHS faculty. CHS is Community and Health Sciences faculty. But we also offer our classes to students within the arts faculty. And the majority of our postgrad students come from arts, from the arts faculty. And I've been asked to speak to you today because I'm an alum of the university. As I said earlier, all it means is that I went here and that I studied here. And in fact, I did my undergrad training and my postgrad training, both my honors and my master's through UWC, and I never left. I left maybe for a little while and then I was back again within a year. Like I said earlier, I'm particularly proud of, I'm always proud to say that I work at UWC, and there are very particular reasons for that, and hopefully I have time to get into that, but I've been asked to keep it very brief. I remember my first day starting at UWC not that long ago, and the biggest thing that I remember was that morning I was incredibly hungry because I just hadn't had breakfast. I was too anxious, and then as I'm sitting there and the mentors, forget what the peer facilitators were talking to us and, you know, just putting us in our different groups and taking us through campus. And I was just so hungry. I wanted to eat. I wasn't taking anything in. So that's my biggest memory from my first day at UWC. I was very hungry, but there were, fortunately for me, and, I could go and sort that out very quickly. My experiences at UWC, all of our experiences are different. Even some of my colleagues who I studied with, some who I still know today, my colleagues who I work with, our experiences are varied. The route that I took was I did my BA, majored in psychology, because my whole career choice from the time I was at school was that I want to be a psychologist. I want to do therapy. I want to help people in a one-on-one or one-on-group basis where I can talk and allow people to talk to me as well, and I can help them to navigate and to deal with whatever was going on in their lives. Somewhere along the line, I realized, and through UWC and through the fantastic lectures that we have, that there are so many different options available in terms of career choices and in terms of what you will do in the future. There's many different routes to take. And that is going to be part of your journey here, is to discover, well, you know what, maybe I don't want to be a clinical psychologist, perhaps I'll be a research psychologist, which is what I ended up doing. Or perhaps midway through your undergrad degree, you realize, you know what, I actually do want to focus on social work, or, you know, maybe I want to be an OT. But that's part of the beauty of UWC, is that we have so many different offerings that lead to different registrations with the, you know, if you're with the HPCSA, or you're with the pharmacy, or if you want to go into business, we have a wide range of offerings for you. I mean, I've studied here, I grew up here. The people that I have come into contact with, the people that have lectured me, that have mentored me, that have taught me, I can safely say that I don't think that I would be the person that I am today had I not gone to UWC and had I not had the experiences that I had. As a result of the career that I've chosen, being a research psychologist, going out there, getting the information, doing the interviews, collecting the data, analyzing it, researching, sharing the knowledge that I wanted to create with other people, I have been given the opportunity to go to different places, to travel, to meet people. This, you know, the last year, and probably for the short foreseeable future, I don't think we're going to be able to do that anymore, but I had been given that opportunity to meet other people who are also interested in my areas, because my areas of research are areas such as family resilience, looking at family and child well-being, substance use, intervention research. I'm interested in quite a few different areas, and as a result of being an academic, being a lecturer, I am able to not only do my own research, but also share that research with my students as well. And some of my biggest blessings have come from seeing how some of those students also further develop and they gain their own interests. And maybe they don't want to go into my particular areas, but because of what we are able to offer, they are able to define what areas interest them and where they would like to go and make a difference. I've met some incredible people, some of the lecturers that I have been fortunate enough to have had them taught or teach me. They have been instrumental in many changes and significant changes in this country. And those are the kinds of footsteps that I wanted to keep, to just keep going along that journey and to see how can I actually make a difference in other people's lives. I think that you've taken the first very brave step. I think that you have a long road ahead of you, but soak it all up, ask questions, get to know your lecturers, get to know your colleagues, your fellow students, open yourselves up and say yes to every positive experience or every experience that you feel that you can get something out of, because it's really only by saying yes, and it's only by engaging and reading and thinking and writing that you are going to first do well in this degree and also move forward within your own career. So everything of the best for you. Keep well. Take care.
A warm welcome to you as you enter one of the most pivotal firsts in one's life. Welcome to the University of the Western Cape. You have truly chosen to belong to the most diverse and beautiful families, where you will be questioned, challenged, and pushed to grow into the person you never imagined you could be. It's the type of family that always butts in, and the type of family that won't leave you alone. It's the type of family that is loud and at times boisterous and embarrassing, but it's the family where you find belonging and where you find acceptance, no matter what the type of person you are. This family is a family that you will have with you for life, whether you want it or not. You see, when applying to study at the University of the Western Cape, you simply chose a career path. But here, you will discover that you will walk away with so much more. In these lecture rooms, I myself sat thinking I would merely study to get my degree. But lo and behold, here I found my lifelong friends and acquainted my heart with my now husband. Here is where I laughed, I cried, and ate my way through many anxieties and fears. Here I discovered who I wanted to be as a person and as a therapist. A journey of discomfort, but a journey of growth and maturation. Looking back now, I see that every day was not perfect. Every day had a struggle. Some days were great and memorable, but in actual fact, most was simply filled with mundane tasks and ordinary moments. You see, most days spent here were routine-based timetable days of what seemed to be endless lectures and learning and mind mapping. After graduation, me and my little family decided to pause life and travel Asia. It was the most memorable moment of my life by far. But once again, looking back, similar to my university period, every day was not perfect, and every day was not filled with excitement and adventure. Again, it was the fact that each day was still filled with mundane tasks and ordinary moments, only now in a different country. So why am I saying this? You see, as a person and now as a therapist, I've realized the biggest thing of all. You see, it's in this many small, little mundane and ordinary tasks that the memorable moments happen, that our lives' meanings form. It's in these memorable moments that our lives' meanings form around it, and our purpose is infused by countless habits that we take for granted. We don't see it then or take note of its beauty, but when we look back at 4 years of studying, our hearts warm up and our eyes sparkle as the moments flash by. You realize how much you were actually bonding while laying on the grass outside B block, waiting for your next lecture, scheduled 2 hours apart. You recall the beauty of running around endlessly and sitting in the car for no reason with friends on campus. You begin to smile as you think about the days you pull all-nighters with friends to pass an exam. You don't realize it then, but know that after you will relate and zoom in on those moments. That connection with others from all walks of life will vividly color the portrait of who you are unraveling to be in the future, but give credit to the now that's creating that future in you. When we see life through this lens, we see the clients and people we work with, and will work with them differently. We realize that it's often these little things that have been taken away due to any health-related or social-related factors and issues. And it's when these mundane tasks and moments are taken away, when moms want to prepare meals for their families and sons and daughters want to play the same game every day, that joy and meaning and wonder is taken away, and that life seems empty. You see, as a therapist, having walked through the blocks of campus life, I now see the greatness in the simple. I now appreciate the desire of my clients to pursue the simple and aim to ensure that every client and every person I meet is able to enjoy, access, and engage in the minimal, simple, and mundane events of life, knowing now that it will add up to the accumulation and amalgamation of moments that will become memorable, that will become life. Finding joy in the mundane and seeing the value in things most taken for granted is what gives hope and fulfillment to others and to ourselves. So, today I wish you a journey at the University of the Western Cape filled with ordinary, mundane, simple days that you will fondly look back upon as probably the best and most growth inspired times of your lives.